Hello everyone, welcome back. I've got another game of StarCraft 2 for you today. This matchup will be between Fnatic's Fenix and EG's StrifeCro. There we go. We can see here Fenix spawning as the blue Terran player here in the upper right position, and in the upper left we have StrifeCro as our yellow Zerg player. So Terran versus Zerg here on Shakur's Plateau. Right off the bat, of course, StrifeCro will be moving his Overlord straight towards Fenix's base. This, of course, is the proper direction. You kind of move it along that safe path. There'd be no reason to send the Overlord in this direction. Just doesn't really make that much sense. Getting caught in the middle, very likely if you do something like that, and very dangerous, of course, against a Terran player. Don't want to lose that Overlord to one of those dastardly Marines. Obviously, we're going to see Fenix wall off here. Looks like he, of course, will be walling off the small ramp. He would have the option of walling off this larger ramp for a fast expansion, but that's not very likely. You don't see it very often, and the fact that I mention it will probably cause people to rage and tell me I'm an idiot, but that's okay. Back over here for StrifeCro, sitting now at 13 supply. Still nothing as of yet. Probably, of course, expect something to come between 14, 15, or 16 supply. We'll either be seeing that quick hatchery or that quick spawning pool. Clearly, that's all there is to see. So let's keep a close eye here on StrifeCro, take a look at what he decides to do. And back over here, of course, it looks like Fenix will be playing fairly standard over here. Looked like that was a 12 racks and 13 refiner. And here we go, drone will be moving on down for that quick expansion. So StrifeCro dropping the 15 hatch, following that up with pool and probably an extractor as well. Overlord moving right on into Fenix's base, and does of course want to be careful because this barracks is just about finished right now. What of course I expect him to do is spot the edge of the base. There we go, seeing the Marines, and should be heading on back right now. Should be actually moving into kind of calmer waters, safer areas, whatever you have. We can see actually a tech lab will be coming out here for Fenix, so Fenix will be opening up with some Reaper play and then likely expanding as well, also dropping that second depot there to complete that wall off. Back over here, yes, pool and extractor coming on through. The reason I even mentioned the extractor, obviously eventually we would get an extractor, but there is some style of play, some may call it the Spinishua style, the Ice Fisher build, if you will, that involves not getting an early game extractor and holding off on that to just drone up really hard, get a lot of queens. But, you know, that's kind of gone out of vogue, if you will. I really haven't seen a ton of that lately. Obviously, initially, I saw a lot of it for a while when Spinishua kind of first blew up on the scene, but really haven't been seeing as much of that. Much safer, or rather, much more common to see that extractor, quick metabolic boost, work your way up to layer, everything of that nature. So we can see the hatchery is up right now. We do have a bunker trying to be placed right now, though, by Fenix, right in the back of the resource line, but Fenix doesn't look like this will be all that successful. We'll be forced to cancel that off at the same time. There is the Reaper right in the main, and let's see how many kills he can get. One drone down, second drone not able to get it, and will be forced to push away. There we go, did get a second drone, microing around, getting a third kill, and forced to pull back right now. No reason to try to hop back up there with that Reaper. Of course, those Zerglings will be in hot pursuit and be able to drop that very quickly. Here's the expansion as expected. It looks like we'll also be seeing a factory here on the tech lab. Likely transition, of course, to be Marine Tank being one of the more prevalent and, well, effective builds. So we do actually have a second Reaper that was built. I had not noticed that, so he will try to continue up this harassment right now. One Reaper sitting with the 3 kills, and obviously that one has got nothing yet, but here we go. The secondary Reaper has, and actually I'm really liking this right now from Fenix, because a lot of times after that first Reaper, I used it for scouting and minimal harass, and then it kind of stops, but actually we'll be following up with some secondary harass. So there we go. 2 Zerglings down, gonna get another drone and another drone, and that should pretty much do it. The Reapers will be going up in the main, but I expect, of course, those Zerglings and the Queens to pull back. But there we go. Mike going away from those Zerglings, and Fenix managing to do maybe a bit more than he should be in terms of damage right now, just killing off more and more drones. Will he save that one Reaper? No, sacrificing it to try to get some additional kills. This Reaper, it is time for him to head back home, but wow, very nice by StrifeCro. Didn't expect him to do that much damage, and actually Fenix will be following up that opener with some Infernal Pre-Igniter harassment here from these Hellions. So will he get a starport as well? That is certainly an option for him. Getting a starport will allow him to drop those, obviously making that a lot easier to get those right inside the main, but I don't see that as of yet, so he might be holding off or just try to be walking right up into the main and the natural with those Hellions as opposed to trying to drop it straight in the back of the main. Now let's take a look at the unit loss tab, because I I do want to see. Yes, of course, it looks like Fenix is ahead. That Reaper harass managed to do quite well. I'm actually very impressed with the amount of damage that he was able to do there. And if we take a look here in terms of workers killed, killing off a total of 11 workers. Very nice. And the Zergling does spot the Hellions, doesn't catch that Infernal Preigniter though, since it had not yet finished. There is another barracks being dropped down as well. Starport is being built here, but again, I don't know. I'm expecting him to push out those Hellions before that first medevac does actually get out, because that Infernal Preigniter is just about finished right now. There we go. Hellions moving across the map, roasting the Zerglings. Zerglings spotting that Infernal Preigniter. There we go. We have a couple Spine Crawlers getting dropped down. An Evolution and a Roach Warren as well. And here we go. The Hellions moving right into the natural expansion, and this is not looking good right now for EG StrifeCro, taking a lot of damage. Hellions will keep on moving up, and look at this harassment. Very nice play here by Fenix. He's doing a fantastic job moving right up into the back of the main. Speedlings, though, able to catch up, especially on that creep, and the Hellions still doing what it can, holding on for dear life, managing to get that last shot, and the Zerglings have been mopped up. And there we go, a few more Zerglings moving in, sniping down that Hellion, but still damage. Beautiful. Fenix, great play so far, buddy. Doing a great job. There's that transition into the siege tanks. Now feeling a little bit of sympathy here for StrifeCro. He hasn't done much damage at all, and he's been taking the heat, opening up with that Reaper harass, and then following it up with that Blue Flame Hellion. StrifeCro has been in a tough position. Looks like he will be trying to move out to get some vision and a little bit of map control, though, with those Speedlings. I would imagine he is, of course, concerned about the possibility of some more Hellions catching him in the middle of the field, but really, in all honesty, that initial harassment is usually all you'll see. You'll see the opener Reaper, and you'll see a follow-up to the Infernal Preigniter Hellions, but you don't typically see a continuous production of the Infernal Preigniter Hellions after that harassment. But it looks like we'll be seeing a Marine tank drop, getting positioned right here in the back of that main base here for StrifeCro. So just constant aggression from Fenix. And how is StrifeCro going to be able to deal with this? First dropping the Marines to snipe that Overlord. Will be putting the tank right on the ledge, and then probably lifting up those Marines and putting them into the main. And there we go, sieging up on the low ground. 4 Marines into the main base, and we'll be just shelling out on the corner of this base. The Zerglings will be trying to move forward. He gets around. Nice pickup, though. That looks beautiful. Look at that splash damage on those Zerglings, and then picking up the Marines. 1 Marine does get shelled out, though, from that splash damage. Just 1 Marine left, still trying to do what he can for damage, and this tank does have 7 kills right now, so certainly is starting to pay off right now. Roaches will be moving forward to engage, though. Doesn't, of course, want that tank to sit there for too very long, so here we go. Roaches need to move forward, snipe down that tank. There we go. Do want to see him unsiege and get lifted up. Not even going to bother, though. Just wants to take a couple more shots, and that is that. Back over here inside of the main base here for Fenix. Looks like he's getting ready to mobilize out for another attack. And do we have a Viking in play? Because it looks like an Overlord gets sniped out. Yes, we do, in fact. Viking right now with 1 kill, undoubtedly, of course, an Overlord, and I would like to see him continuously moving that around. Now, we do see this spotted expansion here. Phoenix is now aware, so StrifeCro is getting ready to have to deal with a big push. He was supply blocked, wasn't able to make anything. Now he's got a couple of Roaches coming out, building that Baneling Nest as well, and yeah, this is a big, scary push from Phoenix. Phoenix has been doing a great job this game. StrifeCro doing what he can, but it hasn't been enough, unfortunately, for him. He's just been, again, taking consistent harassment from Phoenix, and this is exactly the type of play as a Terran player you should be doing against your Zerg opponents. If you can constantly provide heat to them, if you can keep the heat up, then it's a little bit scary as a Zerg player to try to have to consistently defend against that. We will be seeing a Marine drop here, going in the back, and at the same time, it looks like we will be seeing this push come out here for Phoenix. Now, will Phoenix be going straight for that third, or will he be going for the natural expansion? That is really the question. Now, with those Queens, able to snipe down the Viking before it gets the Overlord kill. Very nice there by StrifeCro. Where is that drop? There we go. Marines dropping right inside of the main base, sniping down 1 Queen. Will he go for more Queens? Yes, he will. He's probably going to try to take out all of these Queens here. We've got a couple of Zerglings pop at the same time. Here comes a push into the third base. So again, Phoenix all over the place now. We do want to see StrifeCro try to catch it. Out of position, but no, the siege tanks have sieged up right now. Marines continuing to go to work inside. Man, there we go. Roaches sniping down the tanks, and should be able to keep up this pressure and have no problem against those Marines. Again, a few Marines still here in the main, but StrifeCro, great job of catching those tanks and just overwhelming them with that Roach force. Very hard for a few number of tanks to actually take out that many Roaches. It's just a bit too much for them to handle. Basically, the Marines still going to town here. We'll be trying to take out that extractor. Another marine drop here inside of the natural. The roaches will be moving forward to try to take care of that. Just a little bit of health left on that medevac. No anti-air over here. We do have that queen coming out. A few more roaches. Should be able to defend itself. And again, there we go. That marine drop. Managing to take out the extractor there. We'll be going to the other side here. The resource line. Or no, never mind. Actually, just pulling. There we go. Going to the other side of the resource line. Trying to take out this extractor as well. A few marines sitting over here. Those roaches should be able to take care of it. What is going on though? Why is nobody engaging with anything? A couple of marines sitting over here getting mopped up by those roaches, and here we go. In the meantime, wow, there we go. In the meantime, while all of that was happening, we did have Fenix come out with this third expansion, and that is a little bit scary for StrifeCro. He needs to get that one up against Fenix. He is going to need another base, but he doesn't even really have full saturation of this third yet, so not really much of a reason to expand other than that extra larva right now until he gets that saturated. Now we do finally have that layer coming out. It's been quite some time, 15 minutes into the game and still no layer, but again, it's most likely due to the fact that he's just been dealing with this consistent harassment from Fenix. Fenix has just been all up in his grill this entire time. Couple marines sitting in this medevac, few more marines, no marines sitting over here, but just a lone medevac. I expect this drop to happen sometime soon, and actually, there we go, mobilizing the main force right now, moving on down, and we'll actually be possibly trying to go for that third again. Now, we do have a lot of roaches, a few speedlings in the mix here as well, getting finally the extra extractors there that he had lost due to those marine drops, and getting ready to push right now. Phoenix is mobilizing towards that third at the same time. Here go those marines, those medevacs at very low health, but we'll be healing up those marines and trying to help assist them in stimming up and continuing the engagement. Nice tank line, though, is going to make it hard for those roaches. Now, he needs to take advantage of the fact that these marines are split off. This would be the time, if any, to push in and engage. And there we go, roaches moving down, marines stimming back, and the roaches will be trying to target fire down those tanks, but there's a lot of DPS from those tanks. Do they have enough roaches right now? I do not think so. Tanks, marines, plus that one marauder was enough to mop up everything that was thrown at that StrifeCro, calling the good game. Fenix was all over StrifeCro this game, opening up with a single Reaper harass. Now, this did get chewed away fairly quickly, but he followed up with a second Reaper for some double Reaper harass. So after that first Reaper got chewed away, we saw Fenix move out with a second Reaper and that initial one and continue up this harassment. And again, just adding insult to injury, just constant harassment for this entire game. Spotting that Blue Flame Hellions were en route, we did see StrifeCro try to formulate a wall and prevent that harassment from being able to get into his main. Unfortunately, he was a little bit late on it. As we're going to see right now, Phoenix's Hellions moving right into the natural, and Fenix does a good job of roasting these workers. Fenix then moved out with a tank marine drop, shelling out on the main base, killing off some of the workers, and a ton of Zerglings here for StrifeCro. We then saw Fenix drop in the main, and at the same time push onto the third of StrifeCro. Now, StrifeCro was actually able, with a fair amount of roaches, to defend and push away Phoenix's engagement onto the third expansion, but still, at the same time, he was taking quite a bit of damage inside of his main base from that marine drop. While all of this was going on, we did see Fenix actually move on into a third expansion. And then our final engagement came around the 16-minute mark. Just because of the constant harassment, Fenix was just so far ahead that even though StrifeCro managed to catch some of these Marines out of position and move down onto the tank line while the Marines were actually inside of the third, it still didn't really matter. I mean, we're going to see here Fenix has a good portion of his army away from the engagement, but at that point he was so far ahead of StrifeCro. StrifeCro just taken way too much damage, and with this nice siege line, there was really nothing he could do, and that is when we saw the GG. So as always, thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you have enjoyed this commentary. It was a pretty interesting game. Happy to bring it to you. As always, guys, if you